Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell, I'm back with a Disney related video for you today. I've kind of been having like Disney withdrawal symptoms because I did all my Disneyland Paris vlogs and I did like planning videos and like what did I do, like a trip report, and then I've kind of not really had any Disney content to make. But recently somebody commented on one of my videos and asked if I would do a Disney tag for a video. So of course I wasn't going to say no to some more Disney content. So I've been having a little look on YouTube and there seems to be sort of slightly different questions. I was like watching various Disney tags and they didn't all have the same questions. So I've just picked one that I liked the questions for and thought I could answer them. So this Disney tag I actually got from a channel called Emily, the Pea Chicks and Us. I will leave her video and her channel below so that you can go and check her out. But she's a lovely lady and she does lots of also family content and Disney content as well. So yeah, go and check her out. But yeah, she did one and it's got 18 questions. I'm just checking because it's on my phone. Various questions about Disney and Disney parks and Disney films, and it's just a way for me to kind of tell you a bit more about what I like about Disney, answer some questions you may not know about me, and it's just another excuse to talk about Disney, in all honesty. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy hearing a little bit more about my Disney things that I like, and yeah, let's get started. So question number one is, which Disney movie or scene would you like to be in? Oh, this is a difficult question. So I've like briefly looked at these questions. I haven't really like had any time to think about them. So this is just what comes off the top of my head. What Disney movie would I like to be in? I mean, they're all quite like nice. You know, there's always like, in most Disney movies, there's always like something that goes wrong, but then it all kind of works out in the end and everyone's quite happy. I don't know, I mean, one of my favourite Disney movies is Beauty and the Beast, but I'm not sure whether I'd want to be in that film, because I don't know whether I don't think I would be as brave as Belle is when she comes into like contact with the Beast. What else? I think actually quite like to be entangled, because I like the energy of Rapunzel and I like the fact that she has this like big adventure, and rather than some of the earlier Disney movies, sort of Tangled and sort of ones later on, the like female character is a lot more like empowered and she doesn't necessarily need a man or a prince to come and save her. I mean, yes, I know in Tangled Finn does come in and like they fall in love and stuff, but she's quite like feisty and fun, and I would love to be in that scene where they have all the lanterns. I just think that would look amazing to see, like sitting in the boat. So I think I'd probably have to say Tangled for that question. Question two, what is your best moment in a Disney park? And again, this is quite a tricky one. I mean, I've only been to Disneyland Paris twice. I haven't been to the one in America, which is something I would love to do one day if I ever get the chance. But picking a best moment is tricky because you just have such an amazing time at Disney and there's so many amazing moments. But I think I would say my best moment in a Disney park, like so far, has definitely been on my trip back in September last year. We booked to do the Inventions character dinner, and that's at the Disneyland Hotel, which is awesome. And we also, because I was there as like in preparation for my 30th birthday, we decided to book me a cake, and that in itself would have been amazing. Like you know, we were having a character meal, I had Tigger and Mickey Mouse brought my cake out and sang, and I danced with Tigger. But I think the best moment was where we were sitting. There was a window and it looked right out over onto the castle, And because we were there in the evening, we were there when the fireworks started. So we were in like prime position to watch the fireworks from the window. So we kind of started looking at the fireworks, and then Mickey and Donald Duck came in, and Donald came and like held my hand and took me up to the window and held hands with me while we watched the fireworks. And for me, that's just been like, out of everything, I think that has been my like favourite memory of being in a Disney park, and it's something that I don't think I'll ever forget. I've got it on video, it's in one of my vlogs, so yeah, go and check out my Disney vlogs if you want to see like the whole thing happen. But it was just such a special moment, and especially with it being for my birthday as well. Yeah, out of everything I've done, I think that was probably my best moment so far. Question number 3, what non-Disney song reminds you of Disney? Now I had to like have a little bit of a think about this, because I kept like coming up with songs and then feeling like thinking, oh no, that is a Disney song. So I ended up doing a little bit of research for this one, because I was just really stuck, because all I could think of was Disney songs. And then I came across the songs from Anastasia, which for some reason I thought Anastasia was a Disney film, and it isn't. And especially the songs from the Broadway like version of Anastasia. I have just been listening to those songs, and they just sound like they should be out of a Disney movie. They just seem to have that like Disney magic to them. I don't know whether it's because it's like a musical stage show as well, because I often find that you kind of get that Disney vibe sometimes. But certainly if you listen to like anything from Anastasia, the musical on Broadway, the songs, you could just put them in a Disney movie and they definitely wouldn't be out of place. So now I think I found myself like a whole new album of songs to listen to, like along with all the other Disney songs that I listen to. But yeah, I'd be really interested to hear like what non-Disney songs make you think of Disney. Question number 4, when was your first Disney trip? So as I said, I have only been to Disney twice. Both of those times were to Disneyland Paris. So the first time that I went was about 10 years ago. It was in 2008, and it was for the 15th wedding anniversary, the 15th anniversary of Disneyland Paris, because we then went back last year in 2018, and that was the 25th anniversary for Disneyland Paris. So there was 10 years between our trips. But yeah, before that I had never been to Disney before. I had always wanted to go ever since, well, as young as I can remember. I have been like begging my mum and dad to take us to Disney. I really wanted to go to Florida, but to be honest, any Disney would have been fine. But it just never really happened, because I'm the oldest, and then we always said that we didn't really want to go to Disney until like myself and my siblings were old enough to be able to appreciate it, because it's quite an expensive holiday. And because I have 4 other younger siblings, there was just never a time when like we were all old enough to be of like the right age to appreciate it. So I think that's why it just took us so long to go, plus the fact that it's an expensive holiday, and especially when there's like 7 of you in your family, it is expensive. So yeah, the first time we went was in 2008 and had a brilliant time, and then we went back again last year. Still haven't been to America, and I am absolutely desperate to go, but I don't know, maybe one day we'll go. Question 5, which Disney character would be your best friend? I want to be friends with so many Disney characters. I think I would get on quite well with Belle from Beauty and the Beast, because she is a big like reader and I enjoy reading, and I just kind of feel like we'd have quite similar personalities. She's quite quiet. Am I quiet? I don't know, like I'm fairly quiet and, you know, quite an introvert, and I think that's what she is as well, so I think we might get on quite well. Who else would I be best friends with? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like animal characters that I would get on with, and my mind has just gone blank. I think I'd quite like to be like friends with Baloo, because he's just so like chilled and funny and like relaxed, and I think that it would be quite nice to be around him, because I'm quite like an anxious person, and I'm quite a sort of like highly strung person, I think. So I think having like the complete opposite of that in someone like Blue, who just is like very, very chilled out and stuff, would complement me quite well. So yeah, maybe like Belle or Blue, but as I said, I'd be quite happy to be best friends with any Disney character. Question number 6, which Disney sidekick best fits your personality? That's a get over. I find these really difficult because I just keep going blank. I would quite like to have Tinkerbell actually as a sidekick, I think, just because I love Tink, and she's very like mischievous, but she's quite feisty, and I just think it would be quite fun to have her as a sidekick. And you know, like the fact that she's female, I'd like to have a female sidekick, I think, and just to like show some girl power, and the fact that she's a fairy and she has magic like pixie dust and stuff, would be good fun. I think we could get up to no good, but we could also do a lot of good in the world, me and Tink. I'm thinking way too much about this, but I think she'd be quite a fun sidekick to have. And I think she's quite loyal, like despite the fact that she gets a bit like peed off with Peter Pan halfway through, she kind of gets back to sticking by him and kind of realizes that she's gone wrong. So I think I need someone that's quite loyal, and I think that she would like stick around if I needed her. Question 7, who is your favourite Disney princess? This is like asking who your favourite child is, I think, because there are so many lovely Disney princesses that I love. I think if I had to choose one, it would be Belle from Beauty and the Beast, because it's just one of my favourite films, and I just have always been a big fan of Beauty and the Beast and Belle. But saying that, I like a lot of the like modern princesses, so I really love Rapunzel. I love Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog. Who else do I like? I'm trying to think now. Do you count Moana as a princess? I don't know. Anyway, so I like the more like modern princesses as well, because as I said, they're like more feisty, and they don't need a man in their life to kind of, you know, fight the world and win and, you know, be who they are. But then I am also a big fan of Cinderella, because she's just, I don't know, Cinderella for me is just like the Disney princess. Like, although Beauty and the Beast is my favourite film, whenever I think of a Disney princess, Cinderella is the first person that comes like to my mind. I don't know if it's because, I don't know, I just see her as the princess because of her like lovely blue, like big blue dress and her tiara, and she's just very sort of stereotypical princessy. So yeah, as you can tell, I can't make a decision on who my favourite princess is, because I like them all, but hopefully that gives you some ideas of like some of my favourites. Question 8, which Disney movie or scene never fails to make you cry? I am a big crier. I cry at most Disney films, so where do I start? Disney films have this amazing ability to make me cry. They seem to know how to like tug at the heartstrings, and how to like write music that is gonna like tap into that like emotional side of me. I'm a crier. But I think some of the ones that really have made me cry are Up, that scene right at the beginning where I've forgotten his name, the man and the lady, Ellie and, that's gonna be really annoying now. Anyway, where they're like together and it tells their little story, and then when she dies, I cry at that every time. I'm bawling my eyes out. So that makes me cry. I always cry at Wall-E. Like, I think it's towards the end when something happens. I can't, like, my mind's having a blank, but something happens between Eve and Wally, and I always cry at that. What else do I cry in? Lion King. Oh my god, when Simba's dad dies, I cannot be dealing with that. It sets me off every time. It's always the animal ones, or like the yeah, well, apart from Up, it's always the ones that's got like the animals in it, or like the robots, or like the non-human things that seem to really set me off. Bambi does sometimes, like when the mum gets shot, that gets me. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm a crier, so I will cry at most things, but those are the ones that kind of stick out as particularly sad films and like scenes. Question 9, what is your favourite Disney movie? Oh my gosh, again, really hard question. I think, like I've said before, Beauty and the Beast has always been a big favourite of mine. I don't know why, it just has. I love Tangled. This is controversial, but I think I love Tangled more than I love Frozen. I think it's so hard to choose just one. I can't choose just one. I think it would be either Beauty and the Beast or Tangled, although I do love Cinderella as well. So one of those three. Question 10, what Disney film is most overrated? Do you know what? I'm gonna say Frozen. I love Frozen, don't get me wrong. I love the music, I love the story, I like watching it, but there just seems to be a lot of hype around Frozen, and I don't 100% get it. Like, it's a good movie, don't get me wrong, like I do like it, but if I compare it to a lot of other Disney movies that haven't had so much hype, to me it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't understand why Tangled doesn't get more like hype than Frozen does, because to me I think Tangled is a better film than Frozen. But yeah, I think it is a controversial answer because I know how popular Frozen is, and you know, I love it. I want to go and see Frozen 2. I want to go and see Frozen the musical when that comes out. But I do think it's a bit overrated. I don't think it's as good as people are kind of hyping it up to be. Question 11, what Disney movie is most underrated? I think there's a few. I've just been looking through the list of Disney movies, and what was my first one? So one of the first films that I think is underrated is 101 Dalmatians. You don't hear that many people talking about it, and I don't really know why, because as a child I absolutely loved watching it, and even now as an adult I still think it's a great movie. I know they've made it into like live action films and stuff, but it never really seems to get mentioned a lot, and I think, yeah, I do think it's really underrated. So there's that one. What else was there? Oh, another one that I think is really underrated is Bolt. I think it's a brilliant film. It's funny, it's cute. I love it, and I was so excited when we were in Disneyland Paris last year, and I can't remember which day it is, but on one of the days they have like a guest star day in the parade, and when we were there the guest star was Bolt, and I was like, yes, Bolt is finally getting some like recognition, because again, you never see any merchandise with Bolt, there's never any like character meetups or anything like that, and people very rarely, when you ask them like what your favourite Disney films are, Bolt just doesn't seem to get mentioned. And then I'm not sure whether, like, we're talking about Pixar as well, but Disney Pixar is, I'm gonna go with Disney Pixar as well. So I also think that Monsters Inc. and Monsters University are very underrated. There's a lot of other Pixar films that seem to get a bit more hype, and although I know you can do meetups with some of the Monsters Inc. characters, there's just not really that much around. Again, not a huge amount of merchandise. I have seen a little bit of stuff in Primark recently, which I've been quite excited about, but I just think those two films are brilliant and I would be happy to watch them like again and again. But yeah, again, like people just don't really talk about them that much compared to a lot of other like Pixar films. So yeah, I think there's quite a few underrated Disney films, but those are definitely my like top underrated ones. Question 12, what is your favourite Disney song? Again, way too many to choose from. I love Tale as Old as Time from Beauty and the Beast. I think that's a beautiful song and I always get a little bit emotional when I hear it. So there's that one, and then there's one from Tangled, which is the one where they are sitting in the boat and they see all the lanterns, and that's the song that they're singing in there. And I have always thought that I would love to have that song as like if I ever got married, the song that I would walk down the aisle to. I just think I love the words, I love the like tune. It makes me cry every time I hear it, but I just think it's a beautiful song. So yeah, I think I would go with those two for being my favourite songs. But again, like I have a like 4 CD Disney songs CD thing in my car, and I love to listen to Disney songs, whether it's like old or new or like, you know, live action or cartoon or whatever it is. I just Disney music in general is just it's good. I love it. Question 13, what is your least favourite Disney song? I don't really have many Disney songs that I don't like, I don't think. I'm not a massive fan of the one in Aristocats, the We Are Siamese song. When I listen, well, like that's on one of my CDs, and when that comes on I tend to skip it just because I like a Disney song that I can sing along to, and that one you can't really. There's also the song in Jungle Book, Trust in Me, and again it's just not my cup of tea. You can't really sing to it. It's a bit sort of, I mean it serves the purpose of what it's for, but it's not particularly like a good song to sing along to, so I tend to skip that one as well. But apart from that, like I pretty much love most Disney songs. Question 14, who is your most memorable Disney villain? I love a good Disney villain. Like they just make the story, don't they? Oh, I don't know who's my most memorable. I think Jafar from Aladdin, because whenever I watched that growing up, I was always like terrified of Jafar, because I think certainly in the like cartoon version, I think he comes across as being quite scary, and I think like a Disney villain needs to be scary. So yeah, him. I think, I'm trying to think who else. Oh, the witch lady in Snow White, the one that has the apple and stuff, used to absolutely terrify me. I think, I don't know whether it's because I watched it when I was quite young, but even like when we went to Disneyland Paris and we did the Snow White little like ride thing, like it freaked me out because she's in that, and I still get like the shivers like looking at her, because she just, yeah, I don't like her. But I think one of the best Disney villains is Maleficent, and I've only really thought that since watching the film Maleficent, because I didn't really understand the background of like who she was and why she was the way she was, and I think from watching that film it's given her character a lot more like depth, and you kind of understand her more, and I just think she is like a classic villain, and I love the fact that I know like her backstory a bit, and I'm really excited for the second film to come out. So yeah, I mean there's loads of good Disney villains, but I think those are a few of my favourite ones. Question 15, which classic Disney ride is your favourite? I I don't know, I guess it's a bit difficult because I've only ever been to Disneyland Paris, so I don't know if, like, what the rides are like in America, and I'm not 100% sure like which rides you would class as like classic ones and which you would class as like the newer ones, but I think I'm gonna go, I mean, classic ones, I would look at things like Big Thunder Mountain. I would say that is quite a classic Disney ride and is probably my favourite. I think that's the one we tended to keep going back to again and again. So yeah, there's that one, and I also really love the Buzz Lightyear laser blaster one, and I'm guessing that's quite classic. It's been there for like over 10 years because it was there when we last went. I think those are like my two favourite classic rides that we kind of, when we went back last year, those were the ones we kind of made a beeline towards, and I was like, those are the ones I need to ride because they're my favourites. And then question 16 is, which modern Disney ride is your favourite? And again, I'm not 100% sure like what is classed as modern and what is classed as a classic ride. I'm trying to think of like what I've ridden on. I really liked the Peter Pan ride, and I can't remember whether that was around like 10 years ago when we went, or whether that's a more like newer ride. But anyway, I'm going to say that one, the Peter Pan one, because I think that was brilliant. We went on the like army parachutes in Toy Story Land, and I really like those. It's quite a simple ride, but it was good fun. I really wanted to do the RC Racer one, but no one else wanted to do it with me, so I was a bit gutted about that. And I also really wanted to do Ratatouille, but again, no one would come on it with me. I'm just trying to think if there's any other like newer rides that we went on, but I don't think, there hasn't been a huge amount of development at Disneyland Paris recently. I know they've got like plans to do a lot in the next few years. But yeah, so Disneyland Paris is a bit difficult to think of modern rides. I think if I'd been to America, there would be a lot more rides that I could choose from, because I mean, I've watched a lot of like Disney World vlogs, and looking at some of the rides like Expedition Everest and Dinosaur and Pandora and things like that, those are all like rides that I would just, I'd love to go on and love to try, and they're more modern. But yeah, in Disneyland Paris there just aren't that many like newer rides at the moment, so it's a bit of a tricky question to answer. So question 17 is, what is your favourite Disney music score? And again, as usual, I cannot choose just one. I predictably like Beauty and the Beast. I just think the music to that is beautiful, and for both the live action one and for the cartoon one, I think were like, the music was fantastic. I also love the score to Aladdin, and seeing that in the West End, and seeing like a lot of that music like live was just incredible. Lion King has the most amazing music. Yeah, absolutely love the music in Lion King. And I also really love the Toy Story score. I think the first Toy Story anyway. I just think the songs are brilliant. I love the music. I love all the songs. I love the lyrics, and yeah, I think it's just a nice, like, more of like a modern Disney score, but it's definitely one of my favourites of the Pixar lot. And then question 18 is, what is your favourite live action Disney movie? And again, it's a difficult decision. I think I would probably have to go for Beauty and the Beast again, because I think that was just done like fantastically. I love all the actors in it. I think like the person that plays Gaston and LeFou were fantastic. I think Emma Watson was brilliant in it. The like music, some of the extra music that they added in, I just think it did the original story justice. I mean, I like most of the live action films, so like Cinderella I really enjoyed, although I was a bit disappointed that it didn't have a bit more music in it and singing in it. Jungle Book I thought was quite good, but it's quite dark, and I feel like it was maybe more it took more from like the original story rather than, I mean, I think Jungle Book in general is a bit more of a dark story, but certainly the live action ones seem to be darker, and especially if you watch the film Mowgli, that is definitely more dark, much darker than the Jungle Book version. What else is there? I haven't seen Dumbo yet, so I can't comment on Dumbo. Was meant to see Aladdin yesterday, but the projector broke in the cinema, so they cancelled the screening. So I'm very excited to see Aladdin. I'm trying to think what other live action ones. I mean, I love 101 Dalmatians live action, but that's been around for years. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. But no, I always get really excited about the live action ones because I just think it's interesting to see how they, you know, adapt the story into a live action film. I think they always have to be quite careful because they're dealing with such classic films. It's going to be very difficult to, you know, do a film that is as good as the classic Disney like animation. But so far I think they've done pretty well. Alice in Wonderland, that's another one, which I quite enjoy. It is quite dark. I mean, again, Alice in Wonderland is quite a trippy kind of story, and especially with Tim Burton doing the live action bit of the film, it's going to be quite dark. But I think if you go in like knowing what you're looking for, I think it's quite a good like adaptation of the original story. But yeah, what have we got? We've got Lion King coming out soon, so I'm quite excited to see how they do that. I really hope it's good because, I don't know, Lion King is such a classic, but then the others have been classics and they've done really well, so yeah. But if I had to choose one, it would be Beauty and the Beast, because I just think that was fantastic, and might I say better than the original? I don't know if I can say it's better, but it's certainly like up there with the original. So yeah, anyway, that has brought us to the end of the Disney tag. I really hope you've enjoyed hearing some of my answers to these questions. I hope that I've kind of given you a little bit more insight into my Disney likes and dislikes and preferences and my Disney history. If you want to answer any of the questions in the comments below, do let me know, because it'd be really cool to hear like some of your answers, and also let me know if there's any videos you'd like to see, whether it's Disney related or something completely different. Just leave a comment below with your suggestions and recommendations, and I will make a little list and try and get around to filming them as soon as I can. So yeah, if you liked it and you want to see more, please do give me a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!